What do you do when friends let you down? Let me stop right here and say it takes a lot to sit in the friendship chair. Jay Shetty podcast a couple of months ago, he interviewed former First Lady Michelle Obama as she spoke about her and Barack's rise and ascendancy to the White House and the 8 years that they were in the White House. She said that many of the friends that started out with them on that journey dropped out. And she compared their ascendancy or their journey to climbing Mount Everest. She said that many of them could not take the air as they climbed, and so they dropped out. But then there were some that were not physically capable of climbing Mount Everest. And she said that many of the people that she thought would be there to have their back simply could not go on the journey. She said the critical question is because we love them and we wanted to bring them with us, did we stop on the journey, go back and pick them up and carry them? But then she said no, because it'll make our journey much more arduous and it'll make us more belabored trying to climb where God wanted us to be. This had to be what Paul felt like, the Apostle Paul, as he awaits execution in the Mamertine prison. He had helped a lot of people. And so he writes 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter, to his son Timothy in the ministry, who's some miles away. And Paul is all by himself in a dungeon, although he's helped many people, but no one has come to see about Paul. And so he says in verse 16, at my first answer, no man stood with me, but all men forsook me. God, I pray that you don't hold this against their account. When Paul says that, he's standing before the magistrate, the judge, and he's about to be accused for preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, and he looks around and he sees no one. In Paul's day, it would have been beneficial for someone to stand there to give a character witness or reference or something, but Paul says no one's here. He looked for Crescens and Titus and Demas and Mark and Luke, and he looked for Tychicus and he looked for others, but they were nowhere to be found. He says, no man stood with me. But here is the pearl in this lesson. Verse number 17 says that even though no man stood with me, the Lord stood with me. And by him I was strengthened to preach the gospel to the Gentiles, that they might be saved. And also he delivered me out of the mouth of the lion. 3 things that verse tells us right away. First of all, that when you're all by yourself, that God will give you assurance in abandonment. No man stood with me, but the Lord stood with me. But then he'll give you strength to serve by me the preaching of the gospel to the Gentiles, and then he'll give you deliverance, preach unto you, Moses, from danger, that he'll deliver you out of the mouth of the lion. Here's something to walk away with. When friends let you down, number 1, learn the lesson. People be people and life be lifing and trouble be troubling. And sometimes people let you down not because they don't want to help you, but they're going through their own pain themselves. Number 1, learn the lesson. Don't get paralyzed in the pain. Keep it moving. But number 2, love the people. Extend grace to those who have hurt you. That's what Christ has done for us. Let it go and extend grace to the people that have let you down. But number 3, lean on the Lord. Lee Williams says, I've learned to lean on the Lord. The psalmist said in Psalm 27, when my father and mother forsook me, then the Lord took me up. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding. And number 4, after you lean on the Lord, look to the example on a hill called Calvary. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When friends let you down, unless your hurt matches the hurt of Jesus Christ, who was let down by family and friends, you don't have a dog in the race. Jesus says this in these parting words, no greater love hath any man than for him to lay down his life for a friend. That was a little bit.